In the last 3 months, what we have seen in the Asia-Pac ESG funds have increased their active exposure by $2.6 billion. There are two major catalysts for that increased exposure. During the G20 summit in November, despite ideological differences between the US and China on few issues, they showcased solidarity and agreed to work together on three issues, including climate change, health security, and global food security. Each one of them falls into the E, S, or G pillar. Secondly, energy security has been in the forefront of most investors in the last 12 months, especially due to the power cuts in China and India. And then you saw the Russia-Ukraine war. Due to these issues, transition took a back step. But as inflation peaks, Ukraine-Russia crisis wanes, and China fully reopens, the security will no longer be a major concern. These are the two major reasons why we saw general improvement in sentiment towards equities, which positively impacted the exposure towards ESG funds in Asia. We saw these funds reduce their cash holdings from 3.4% to 3.1% and increased exposure by $2.6 billion.
That's interesting. So these are long-term strategies, alpha-generating opportunities, Girish. But can you just give us a sense of what returns looked like in 2022 for sustainable funds in relation to benchmarks like the S&P? Did they beat them? Did they underperform? And what's on the horizon for 2023?
Yeah, ESG funds in general underperformed the standard indices last year in the last 12 months, especially because ESG indices, by definition, are underweight energy stocks, which have done well. There is the biggest criticisms of ESG is that you cannot use ESG to add alpha. It is true that you cannot use it to make short-term alpha, but neither can one get quick returns using value stocks, for example. Similar to how value investors need to be patient before the stock can start generating alpha, ESG investors need to be patient before they can enjoy the fruits of ESG. Any step you take towards ESG, be it understanding your carbon emissions, takes time to measure, monitor, and mitigate. If a company has below average social credentials, then it takes time for the company to improve diversity and inclusion metrics, fix gender pay gap, or social aspects of a company. And if a company lacks in governance, which is a third pillar of ESG, then it takes time to set up appropriate KPIs, align remuneration, and set long-term sustainable goals. That those who are investing in ESG wants to go green, but needs to understand that it takes time for a seed to first turn into a shoot, then to push through the soil and get enough sunlight and nutrients and water to turn it to a tree. Returns will come as the tree grows and becomes greener, and trees don't grow overnight.